The champagne fizzes in my glass like tiny stars, but I barely taste it as I scan the faces of my colleagues in the grand ballroom. Everyone's smiling, toasting, celebrating my moment, my promotion to CEO. Yet something feels off, like a shadow passing over the sun. To Paula. Kaysen raises his glass, his signature grin lighting up his distinguished features. The youngest CEO in our company's history, and the most deserving. The crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over everything, making even the usual office politics seem softer, more palatable. I catch my reflection in one of the mirrored walls, my carefully chosen navy dress, the pearl necklace Dean gave me last Christmas, the practiced smile that's carried me through a decade of corporate climbing. Speech, someone calls out. Several voices join in. I step forward, champagne glass steady in my hand despite the flutter in my stomach. I'm honored. I begin, my voice carrying across the hushed room. This company has been my home for 12 years, and everyone here has become family. My eyes find Layla in the crowd. My best friend, my confidant through countless late-night strategy sessions and emergency coffee runs. But something's different tonight. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes, and there's a tightness around her mouth I've never seen before. Together, I continue, we'll take this company to new heights. I couldn't have done this without each of you. Especially, Layla turns away abruptly, whispering something to Jonah from legal. His eyebrows shoot up, and he glances at me with an expression I can't quite read. I finish my speech on autopilot, accepting hugs and congratulations as people surge forward. Kiara squeezes my arm. You crushed it, boss lady. Though I think someone's not too happy about the announcement. What do you mean? She nods subtly toward Layla, who's now standing alone by the bar, typing furiously on her phone. Just watch your back, okay? Before I can respond, Dean appears at my elbow, his warm hand finding the small of my back. Proud of you, he murmurs, but I'm distracted by Layla's sudden movement toward the exit. Give me a minute, I tell Dean, weaving through the crowd. I catch up to her just outside the ballroom doors. Layla, wait, are you okay? She turns, and the look in her eyes stops me cold. Congratulations, Paula. Her voice is winter itself. I hope you enjoy everything you've stolen. Stolen? What are you— Don't. She steps closer, close enough that I can smell her signature perfume. You know exactly what I mean. Did you really think I wouldn't find out about the Morgan project? About those late-night meetings with Kaysen? My stomach drops. Those meetings were about the CEO position, nothing else. Right. She laughs, but it's all wrong. Sharp and brittle like breaking glass. Just like those accidental delays on my proposals were nothing. The mysterious reassignment of my best team members, the convenient timing of certain information reaching the board. Layla, you're not making sense. We're friends. We're friends. She pulls out her phone, shows me a screen full of emails. My emails. Friends don't sabotage each other for years. Friends don't systematically dismantle someone's career chances while pretending to support them. The room spins slightly. Those emails are from my personal account, messages I never sent to her. How did you get these? Her smile is terrible. Let's just say you're not the only one who knows how to play the game. Enjoy your party, Paula. But remember, everything built on lies eventually crumbles. She turns on her heel, leaving me frozen in the doorway. Through the glass panels, I can see my celebration continuing, everyone laughing, drinking, completely unaware of the bomb that's just been dropped. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. That was supposed to be mine. And by this time next week, everyone will know exactly how you operate. The champagne in my stomach turns to acid as I watch Layla disappear down the hallway, her heels clicking against marble like a countdown. I've spent 12 years building this life, crafting every detail, earning every step. Haven't I? The party continues behind me, but all I can hear is the sound of my carefully constructed world beginning to crack. I've been staring at Layla's emails for 3 hours, my office growing darker as night creeps in. Each message is like a knife, twisted and sharp. Project delays I'd orchestrated. Casual suggestions to Kason about team restructuring. Strategic omissions in presentations that made her look unprepared. My hands shake as I scroll. I did these things, but seeing them laid out like this, collected and curated, makes me look like a monster. Makes me look exactly like what I am. A soft knock startles me. Still here? It's Kiara, hovering in my doorway with concern etched across her face. Everyone else went home hours ago. Just catching up on some things. I minimize the screen, but not before she catches a glimpse. Those are your emails? She steps inside, closing the door. Layla showed them to me earlier, asked me to be a witness when she takes them to the board. The air leaves my lungs. You're helping her? I haven't decided yet. Tiara perches on the edge of my desk, her expression troubled. Paula, I need to ask, did you really sabotage her projects? Because if these emails are real, it's complicated. The words taste like ash. Everything I did was for the good of the company. Layla's proposals were risky, untested. I was protecting our interests. By secretly undermining her for years? Ciara's voice hardens. While pretending to be her friend? My phone buzzes. Another message from Layla. Meeting tomorrow, 7 a.m., just us. Or these go straight to the board. I have to go, I say, standing abruptly. Kara catches my arm. Whatever you're planning, think it through. Layla's not alone in this. Jonah's been gathering evidence for months. My blood runs cold. Jonah, why would he? Because you fired his sister last year? Remember Charlie? The redundancy that somehow only affected her department? The memory hits like a slap. Charlie had been brilliant, innovative, and a potential threat to my path to CEO. I'd restructured her entire division to eliminate her position, making it look like simple cost-cutting. I need to handle this, I say, pulling away from Ciara. And I need to know whose side you're on. That's exactly the problem, isn't it? She moves toward the door. Everything's always sides with you. Winners and losers. Maybe that's why you're standing here alone. The words follow me home, echoing in my empty penthouse as I pace between windows. The city sparkles below, oblivious to my unraveling life. My phone lights up. Dean calling for the third time. I let it go to voicemail. Instead, I pull up my laptop and start digging. If Layla wants to play this game, she's forgotten who taught her the rules. Within an hour, I find what I'm looking for. Irregularities in her expense reports, unauthorized meetings with our biggest competitor, a pattern of data access that suggests corporate espionage. My fingers hover over the keyboard. One email to Kason would destroy her completely. It would be so easy. A new message from Layla pops up. TikTok. Brought copies of everything to my meeting with Dean today. Your call if he sees them. My chest constricts. Dean. Of course she'd go to him. He's not just my boyfriend, he's on the board. One word from him could end everything. I grab my keys and coat, my heels clicking against marble as I head for the elevator. Dawn is just braking as I pull into the office parking garage. Layla's car is already there, sleek and black like a warning. She's waiting in the conference room, perfectly put together despite the early hour. I was starting to wonder if you'd show. What do you want? My voice is steady, controlled. Money? A promotion? Oh, Paula. She slides a folder across the table. I want you to feel exactly what I felt. Reading these should help with that. Inside are more emails, but not mine this time. Messages between Kason and the board, discussing CEO candidates. Messages that prove I was never the first choice. That Layla had been promised the position months ago. You didn't earn this, she says softly. You stole it, just like you've stolen everything else. You're wrong. But my hands are trembling. I worked for this. Everything I did was because you knew you weren't good enough on your own. She stands, smoothing her skirt. The board meets at noon. I'll be showing them everything. Unless you'd like to resign first. Quietly. Gracefully. She moves to leave, but I catch her arm. The board will love to hear about your meetings with Vertex Corp. About the confidential data you've been leaking. Layla's smile doesn't waver. Proof works both ways, Paula. Are you sure you want to play that game? She leaves me alone with the folder, with the truth, with the realization that this is only the beginning. The board meeting starts in 2 hours, and I'm holed up in my office, methodically building my defense. Every document, every email that proves Layla's betrayal is arranged in precise chronological order. My hands are steady now. I've stopped shaking. A knock interrupts my focus. Paula? It's Dean, and for the first time in our 3 years together, I don't want to see him. Can we talk? He closes the door behind him, his usually warm face tight with concern. Layla showed me the emails. And you believed her? I keep my voice neutral, professional, like we're discussing quarterly reports instead of my possible destruction. I don't know what to believe. He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture I usually find endearing. Now it just irritates me. The woman in those emails, that's not the Paula I know. The Paula you know. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Tell me, Dean, which version did you fall in love with? The ambitious executive or the soft, vulnerable one who needed your protection? He recoils slightly. That's not fair. No? I stand, moving to the window. You're on the board. Did you know they promised Layla the CEO position months ago? His silence is answer enough. Get out. My voice is ice. And when you vote today, remember who actually delivered results for this company. After he leaves, I pull up the security footage from last week. There, Layla entering the server room at 3 a.m. downloading files. I'm about to email it to Kason when my computer screen goes black. No. I hit keys frantically, but nothing responds. A message appears. System locked for security audit. My phone rings. It's Jonah from legal. Having technical difficulties? You did this. Consider it a preview. His voice is smooth, satisfied. Charlie says hello, by the way. She's doing great at Vertex Corp. Thanks for asking. The pieces click together. She's been helping you hack our systems. Smart girl, always was. Maybe you should have promoted her instead of forcing her out. I end the call, grab my laptop, and head to IT. The halls feel longer than usual, every passing employee a potential threat. In IT, I find Kiara already there, looking grim. Someone's locked us out of the main servers, she says, including your emails. Can you fix it? She hesitates. I can try. But Paula, are you sure you want to fight this? Maybe it's time to what? Give up? Let them win? I lean closer, lowering my voice. Help me, and I'll make sure you're rewarded. Executive VP position, effective immediately. Are you bribing me? She looks almost sad. You really don't get it, do you? A notification pops up on my phone. An all-staff email from Kason. Emergency board meeting moved to 10 a.m. That's in 30 minutes. I race back to my office, searching for the hard copies of my evidence. The folder is gone. My desk has been cleared, drawers emptied. On my chair sits a single sheet of paper. Looking for something? Panic rises in my throat, but I force it down. Think. There has to be another way. I pull out my personal phone, the one nobody at work knows about. Scroll through old photos, looking for... There. A video from last year's holiday party. Layla, drunk, admitting to corporate espionage. I'd kept it as insurance, never thinking I'd need it. My hands shake as I email it to myself, then to Kason. The response is immediate. My office. Now. He's not alone when I arrive. Layla's there too, looking perfectly composed except for the slight tremor in her hands. Sit down, both of you. Kason's voice is heavy with disappointment. In 30 years, I've never seen anything like this. Kason, I can explain. Layla begins. Save it. He holds up a USB drive. This arrived on my desk this morning. Want to know what's on it? My heart stops. Layla goes pale. Evidence that you've both been manipulating company data, sabotaging projects, leaking information to competitors. He looks between us. The board meeting isn't about choosing between you anymore. It's about deciding who to fire first. Who sent it? I ask, though I already suspect. Charlie. He sighs. Apparently, she's been gathering data on both of you for months. Very thorough. A note slides under the door. Kason reads it, his expression darkening further. Well, he says, this changes everything. The paper trembles in his hand, and I realize with sudden clarity that I've been playing the wrong game all along. The note in Kason's hand changes everything because it's in my handwriting. A memo I wrote 2 years ago, outlining exactly how to systematically dismantle Layla's career prospects. Not suggestions or subtle manipulations, a detailed battle plan, complete with timeline. I can explain. I start, but Kason holds up his hand. The board's waiting. His voice is flat. Let's go. The walk to the boardroom feels like a funeral march. Layla trails behind us, uncharacteristically quiet. When we enter, I notice Dean won't meet my eyes. Before we begin, Kason addresses the board. I want to clarify something. The CEO position was never promised to anyone. We had multiple candidates under consideration, including both Paula and Layla. My head snaps up. Layla's emails, the ones showing she'd been promised the position, were fake. I almost laugh. We've both been playing each other with forged evidence. However, Kason continues, recent events have forced us to reevaluate everything. A new figure steps into the room. Charlie. She's traded her former casual style for a sharp business suit, her expression coolly professional. Ms. Paula. She addresses me directly. Would you like to explain the systematic harassment campaign against my development team last year? Or should I show the board the documentation? That wasn't harassment, I protest. It was strategic restructuring. Including the false sexual harassment claims against my top engineer? The one you paid to file them? The room goes deadly silent. I feel the blood drain from my face. But I had. God help me, I had. It had seemed so necessary at the time, so justified. Paula. Dean's voice is barely a whisper. Tell me you didn't. I look around the room. At Kason's disappointment, Layla's shock, the board members' disgust. Everything I've built is crumbling, and suddenly I'm furious. At them, at myself, at this entire game we've all been playing. Fine. I stand, planting my hands on the table. Yes, I did those things. I did them because that's how this company works. That's how all of you work. Layla's been selling company secrets to Vertex. Jonah's been hacking our servers. Kason's been playing us against each other for years. We're all corrupt. I'm just the only one honest enough to admit it. No, Charlie says quietly. You're the only one who can't see the difference between ambition and cruelty. A folder slides across the table. Not from Layla or Charlie, but from Kiara. Inside are dozens of testimonials from employees I've destroyed over the years. Not just Charlie's team, dozens more. Each story worse than the last. I tried to warn you, Kiara says. It was never about sides. It was about right and wrong. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Check your email. With trembling fingers, I open my inbox. There's a new message from Vertex Corp. A job offer. VP position. Better salary than my CEO role here. The sender? Charlie. You have a choice, she says, watching me read. Resign now. Take the offer. Start fresh. Or we can continue sharing evidence with the board. This was your plan all along, I realize. Get me and Layla to expose each other, then sweep in with a better option. She shrugs. I learned from the best. You taught me how to play the long game, remember? The irony would be funny if it weren't so painful. I look at Dean one last time. He's finally meeting my eyes, but all I see is goodbye. I resign, I say, my voice steady. Effective immediately. Both of you, Kason adds, looking at Layla, and the board accepts. Later, in my office, former office, packing my things, Charlie appears in the doorway. Why offer me the job? I ask. After everything I did to you? Because you're brilliant, Paula, and terrible. And maybe with the right guidance, you can learn to be the first without the second. She hands me a business card. Monday morning, don't be late. As she leaves, I sink into my chair one last time. A photo on my desk catches my eye. Me and Layla from 5 years ago, both smiling, both unaware of what we'd become. My phone buzzes again. Another unknown number. Drinks? We should talk about our new competition. It's from Layla. Despite everything, I find myself smiling. Some habits die hard. I text back one word. When? Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the game never really ends. It just changes players. The bar Layla chose is dark and expensive, the kind of place where deals are made and secrets are traded. She's already there when I arrive, 2 martinis waiting on the table. You look terrible, she says as I slide into the booth. You look worse. It's true, her perfect composure has cracked, showing the strain beneath. We sit in silence, 2 fallen queens examining our battle wounds. Finally, she speaks. Did you know about Charlie's plan? Not until it was too late. I take a long sip. You? I thought I was so clever, using Jonah to hack the servers. Didn't realize he was working for her the whole time. She laughs bitterly. We taught her well. Too well. I pull out my phone, show her the Vertex offer. Did you get one too? She nods. Different department, same salary. She's splitting us up. Smart girl. The silence stretches again, filled with unspoken accusations and apologies. A waitress brings another round. I did hate you, you know, Layla says suddenly. For years, every time you succeeded, every time you smiled and supported me while secretly undermining everything I built. I know. My voice is quiet. I hated you too. For being naturally good at things I had to fight for. For making it look easy. Easy. She stares at me. God, Paula, none of it was easy. I worked myself sick trying to keep up with you. Missed my sister's wedding for that Morgan project. Lost my fiancé because I was never home. Something in my chest tightens. I didn't know about the fiancé. No, you wouldn't. We stopped being real friends long before that. My phone buzzes. Dean. I silence it without looking. He's been calling me too, Layla says. Wanted to know if the harassment claims were true? What did you tell him? The truth, that we all did terrible things, but that crossed a line. She leans forward. Why did you do it, Paula? Really? The answer sticks in my throat. Because I was scared. All the time. Scared of not being good enough. Of being exposed as a fraud. Scared of losing control. And now? Now I've lost everything anyway. I laugh, but it comes out more like a sob. The worst part? I can't even blame anyone else. I did this to myself. A new message appears on both our phones simultaneously. From Charlie. First assignment Monday, joint presentation to the board. Show me you can work together or the offers disappear. Layla's face goes pale. She can't be serious. She is. I stare at the message. She's making us prove we've learned something. I'm not sure I have. Layla admits. Me neither. I signal for another round. But I'm tired of being scared. Paula. Layla's voice is different now, urgent. Look at the door. I turn. Jonah has just walked in with Kiara. They're carrying folders and heading straight for us. Whatever game they're playing, Layla says quietly, I don't want to play it anymore. For the first time in years, I feel the same way. Let's get out of here. We slip out the back entrance into the cool night air. Standing there looking at the city lights, I feel something shift between us. We could do it differently this time, I say. Actually work together at Vertex. Could we? She sounds skeptical. After everything? Maybe that's the point. We know exactly how to destroy each other now. Maybe that makes us safer. My phone buzzes again. Another message from Charlie. Smart choice, leaving before they showed you the folders. See you Monday. Don't be late. She's been watching us, Layla realizes. Of course she has. It's what we would do. We share a look of grudging respect for our former protege. Then Layla says something that changes everything. What if we don't go to Vertex? What do you mean? What if we take everything we've learned, all the strategies, all the connections, and start our own company? No more playing by someone else's rules. The idea hits me like a lightning bolt. They'd try to stop us. Of course they would. Her eyes are bright with something I haven't seen in years. Real excitement. But they taught us how to fight dirty. Remember? I should say no. Should take the safe option, the redemption story Charlie's offering. Instead, I hear myself say, "Tell me more." Behind us, the bar door opens. Voices spill out. Jonah, Ciara, others from the company. Looking for us, no doubt. Layla grabs my arm. Your place or mine? Mine, I decide. They'll check yours first. We hurry through the darkness, two former enemies becoming something new. Partners, maybe even friends again. But this time, with our eyes wide open, my penthouse dining table has become a war room. Laptops open, papers everywhere, coffee cups multiplying as Layla and I plan our escape. We've been at it for hours, running on caffeine and desperation. We'll need startup capital, Layla says, scrolling through her contacts. I've got 3 potential investors who hate Vertex enough to back us. And I've got client lists. I pull up encrypted files on my personal laptop, plus dirt on Vertex's failed projects that never made the news. My phone lights up. Charlie again. Missed you at this morning's orientation. Last chance to reconsider. She's bluffing, Layla says, but her voice wavers. Right? Before I can answer, my doorbell rings. We freeze, sharing a look of panic. Through the security camera, I see Dean standing in the hallway. I'll handle this, I tell Layla, who quickly gathers our materials and disappears into my home office. I open the door but block the entrance. What do you want? Dean looks terrible, like he hasn't slept. Can we talk? Please? About what? How you knew about Layla's fake evidence and didn't warn me? Or how quickly you turned on me in that board meeting? About how I'm worried about you. He runs a hand through his disheveled hair. You're not answering calls. You missed Vertex's orientation. And now I hear rumors you're planning something with Layla of all people. You're spying on me? I'm trying to help you. His voice cracks. Paula, please. Take the Vertex job. Start fresh. Don't throw away your last chance at what? Redemption? I laugh sharply. Did Charlie send you? His silence is damning. Get out. Paula, now. After he leaves, I return to find Layla staring at her phone in horror. We have a problem. She shows me an email from Jonah to the entire industry. A detailed expose of our past actions, not just at our company, but reaching back to our earliest jobs. Every questionable decision, every manipulation, laid bare. He's burning us both, I whisper. No one will work with us after this. That's not all. She pulls up another email. From Charlie to our potential investors. She's warning them away, calling us toxic assets. My hands curl into fists. She's systematically destroying every escape route. Maybe, Layla hesitates. Maybe we should take the Vertex offers. Start smaller, rebuild our reputations. No. The word comes out like a whip crack. That's exactly what they want. Us under their thumb, controlled, diminished. Then what's your plan? Because right now, we're running out of options. My doorbell rings again. This time, it's Ciara on the camera. Don't, Layla warns, but I'm already moving to open it. Ciara steps inside, taking in the chaos of our planning session. Well, this explains a lot. Whatever you're here to say, I want in. We stare at her. What? I manage finally. Your new company, I want in. She pulls out a USB drive. And I brought a gift. Everything Charlie and Jonah have planned for the next 6 months at Vertex. including which clients they're targeting first. Why would you help us? Layla asks. Because Charlie's not as different from Paula as she thinks. She's just better at hiding it. Kiara's eyes are hard. And someone needs to keep you both honest this time. My phone buzzes. Charlie again. Final warning. Take the jobs or tomorrow I release everything. I show the message to Layla and Ciara. She's forcing our hand. No, Layla says slowly. She's showing her fear. Why try so hard to stop us unless she's afraid we might succeed? Ciara picks up a client list from the table. These people trusted you once. They might again if you approach them right. And if we fail? I ask. Then we fail trying something new, Layla says, instead of succeeding at being what everyone expects. I look at these women, my former enemy, my former subordinate, and feel something I haven't felt in years. Hope. My fingers move across my phone. Release whatever you want. We quit. Seconds later, Charlie responds. You're making a mistake. No, I type back. I'm finally fixing one. I look up at my unlikely allies. Tomorrow morning, we start calling clients. Tonight, we plan our war. They'll try to stop us, Ciara warns. Let them try. Layla's smile is fierce. We've got nothing left to lose. And for the first time in my career, that feels like freedom. The Vertex Corp lobby is all glass and steel, designed to make visitors feel small. I refuse to let it work on me. Layla and Ciara flank me as we stride toward the reception desk, our heels clicking in perfect rhythm. Paula. Charlie emerges from an elevator, perfectly composed. I was wondering when you'd show up. Then you'll love what comes next. I hand her a tablet. 43% of your client base has signed with us. Preliminary contracts contingent on funding. Her composure cracks, just slightly. Impossible. We locked those contracts down. You did. Layla steps forward. But you forgot who taught them how to write those lockdown clauses, and exactly how to break them. Charlie's eyes narrow. My office, now. The elevator ride is silent, tense. When we enter her corner office, bigger than my old one, Jonah is waiting with a stack of documents. Cease and desist orders, he says, spreading them across her desk. Plus evidence of client tampering, contract violations. Fabricated evidence, Ciara cuts in. Just like the sexual harassment claims you helped Paula create last year? Should we discuss that publicly? Jonah pales slightly. Charlie remains unmoved. You're not as clever as you think, she says, pulling up an email on her screen. Your funding falls through in 3 hours. Every potential investor has received documented proof of your past indiscretions. Check your inbox, I tell her. She does. Her face goes still as she reads the new message. That's right, Layla says. Dean's family investment firm, full funding, approved this morning. Dean? Charlie looks genuinely shocked, but he believes in second chances? I finish. Amazing what happens when you actually tell someone the whole truth, even the ugly parts. Especially the ugly parts, Layla adds. Like how you've been manipulating everyone, playing us against each other while positioning yourself as the ethical savior. I learned from the best. Charlie's voice is ice. Everything I did, I learned watching you two destroy people. We know, I say quietly. That's why we're here. I pull out a chair, sit down across from her. You're right about us. We were monsters, maybe still are, but we're trying to be better ones. By stealing my clients? By offering them something new, Layla says. Real transparency, ethical practices, everything we should have done before. With you two in charge? Charlie laughs. Please. No, I say. With all of us. The room goes silent. What? Charlie whispers. We're offering you a partnership, Ciara explains. Equal shares, equal say, but with oversight, accountability. You can't be serious. Dead serious. I lean forward. You're brilliant, Charlie, and terrible, Just like me. Just like all of us. But maybe together we can be something different. Why would I trust you? Because we're done playing games, Layla says. Done with the backstabbing and manipulation. It's exhausting, and it's cost us everything that matters. And if I refuse, I stand. Then we go to war. We'll win some clients, you'll win others. We'll all keep playing the same old power games until we destroy ourselves and everyone around us. Or, Kira adds, we try something new. Together. Charlie looks at each of us in turn, her face unreadable. Then she opens her drawer and pulls out a folder. I had a different plan ready, she admits. More evidence. More destruction. A way to bury all of you permanently. We know, I say. We had similar plans for you. She stares at the folder for a long moment. Then, slowly, deliberately, she drops it in her shredder. The sound of shredding paper fills the room like a confession. Equal partnership? She asks. Equal everything, Layla confirms, including responsibility for fixing what we've broken. Charlie looks at Jonah, who gives a slight nod. When do we start? She asks. Right now. I pull out my phone, show her the press release we've prepared. Unless you want to edit the announcement, she reads it, a small smile playing at her lips. It's perfect. Terrible, but perfect. Just like us, Layla says. We share a look. Former enemies, current allies, future partners, and I feel something shift in the room. The old game is over. A new one is beginning. And this time, we're all playing on the same side. Send it, Charlie says. I press send, and we watch our phones light up as the news breaks. The industry will be in chaos by dinner. Perfect. The press conference room is packed, cameras flashing as I step up to the podium. Layla and Charlie stand to my right, Kara to my left. The industry's top reporters watch us like hawks, waiting for signs of discord or weakness. Before we take questions, I begin, I want to address the rumors about our new venture. A reporter's hand shoots up. Is it true your company was formed through corporate espionage and client poaching? Yes. My blunt answer causes a stir. Every rumor you've heard about our past actions is probably true. We've all done terrible things in the name of success. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Layla steps forward. Which is exactly why we're qualified to change things, she says. We know every dirty trick because we invented most of them. And now, someone calls out, now we're doing something revolutionary. Charlie takes over. Complete transparency, real accountability, starting with ourselves. On cue, Shara activates the screen behind us. Our past transgressions scroll past, every manipulation, every betrayal, every ethical line crossed. The room goes silent. This is who we were, I say. And this... The screen changes to our new company structure, with its unprecedented oversight systems and ethical frameworks. Is who we're becoming. Why should anyone trust you? A familiar voice. Dean, standing in the back. They shouldn't, I reply. Not yet. Trust has to be earned. That's why every client contract includes a transparency clause. Full audit rights, quarterly ethics reviews, real consequences for violations. By choice? Another reporter asks incredulously. No, Layla admits. By necessity. Because we finally learned that true power isn't about control. It's about accountability. The questions fly fast after that. We handle them together, each of us stepping in when needed, no one trying to dominate. It feels strange. Better. As the conference winds down, I notice Kaysen slip into the room. He catches my eye, gives a slight nod. The message is clear. He's watching, waiting to see if we'll succeed or implode. One last question, calls a voice from the back. Ms. Paula, what made you change? The room goes quiet. My former allies, now genuine partners, watch me carefully. I didn't want to, I admit. Change meant facing everything I'd become. Every person I'd hurt, every relationship I'd poisoned. It meant admitting that all my success was built on fear, of losing control, of being exposed, of not being enough. I look at Layla, remembering our bitter rivalry, at Charlie, who learned our worst lessons too well, at Ciara, who never lost her moral compass. But then I realized something. The real failure wasn't in losing my position or power. It was in becoming someone who would do anything to keep them. The room is absolutely still. So no, you shouldn't trust us yet. But watch us. Hold us accountable. Because we're not asking for redemption. We're working for it. Every day, every decision, every client. After the reporters file out, Dean approaches our group. Bold strategy, he says. Betting everything on honesty. Not everything, I correct him. Just the things that matter. He smiles slightly. Dinner later? Can't. Board meeting with our ethics oversight committee. Another time, then. I watch him leave, feeling none of the old pull. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. Ready? Layla asks, gathering her things. Almost. I turn to Charlie. There's something I need to say. That sexual harassment claim against your engineer? I'm sorry, really sorry. I know. She meets my eyes. That's why I'm here. We head for the elevator together, 4 women who've seen the worst in each other and chosen to build something better. Think we can really do this? Ciara asks as we descend. Change not just ourselves, but how business is done? No idea, I admit, but I'm tired of playing it safe. Safe is overrated, Layla agrees. Safe is boring, Charlie adds. The elevator doors open to our new offices. Through the glass walls, I can see our team working, a mix of fresh faces and industry veterans, all drawn to our impossible promise of doing things differently. Besides, I say, watching them, the old game was getting predictable. We share a look. 4 reformed monsters ready to reshape the world we once tried to rule. Let's go be terrible at being good, Charlie suggests. And for the first time in my career, that sounds like exactly the right kind of challenge.
My name's Lois Carter, 33, a single mom with an extraordinary 8-year-old daughter, Zoe. We live in a snug little apartment. Not much to brag about, but it's home. I gave up college when I found out I was pregnant. Not my proudest moment, sure, but I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat for Zoe. She's my world. I work as a waitress at a diner downtown. The hours are long, the tips inconsistent, but it keeps the lights on and food in the fridge. Plus, my boss is pretty understanding when Zoe's school commitments need me to switch shifts. And speaking of school, my girl is a force to be reckoned with. Zoe's the kind of kid who soaks up knowledge like a sponge. Her teachers constantly rave about her talent in science and math. Just last week, she burst through the door, thrilled about an experiment they'd done with baking soda and vinegar. Mom, did you know that when you mix baking soda and vinegar, it makes carbon dioxide? That's what makes the volcano explode. She gushed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I couldn't help but laugh. Looks like I've got a future scientist on my hands. But life's no fairy tale. Looming over everything is Regina Blackwood, my ex-mother-in-law. Picture the most judgmental, snobby person you can think of, and then multiply it by 10. That's Regina. She's rich, lives in a sprawling mansion, and never misses an opportunity to remind me that she used to be some big-shot university professor. Lois, dear, she'll say with her signature fake smile, don't you think it's time you went back to school? A waitress's salary hardly provides for a growing child. Every word drips with condescension. I bite my tongue and respond. We're doing just fine, Regina, but thanks for your concern. Thankfully, I've got my own cheerleaders. My best friend Alexis is my rock. Whether it's lending me an ear after a Regina showdown or showing up with a bottle of wine, she's always in my corner. Girl, Regina's just bitter because you and Zoe are incredible, she'll say with a smirk. And then there's Mr. Chen, our retired teacher neighbor who's become Zoe's unofficial tutor. When I'm working late, he helps her with her homework, often singing her praises. Miss Carter, he said one day, beaming, your daughter grasped long division faster than some of my high school students. Thank you, Mr. Chen, I replied, my heart swelling with pride. I don't know what we'd do without you. But today wasn't about allies. It was about braving the lion's den, Regina's mansion. The drive there felt endless, the weight of what lay ahead pressing down on me. Zoe sat in the backseat, flipping through her science textbook. You ready for this, sweetie? I asked, catching her eye in the rearview mirror. She shrugged. I guess. Do you think Grandma will like my science project? I forced a smile. I'm sure she'll be impressed. Pulling up to Regina's ostentatious estate, I swallowed a lump of resentment. Her world was gilded, so far removed from our modest apartment. Lois, darling, late as usual, Regina called out as we stepped through the grand doors, her voice laced with syrupy disdain. Traffic, I muttered, ushering Zoe inside. The gathering was already in full swing, high society types mingling with family members. My eyes landed on Tyler, my ex, chatting with some cousins. He glanced at me and offered a weak nod. Grandma, I got an A on my science project. Zoe's voice was bright, but Regina's smile was ice cold. Did you now? How surprising. I felt my jaw clench. Zoe's been working really hard. Mr. Chen's been helping her study. Ah, yes, the neighbor, Regina said with a dismissive wave. Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. The room quieted. Eyes turned toward us, and I felt the heat rising in my cheeks. What's that supposed to mean? I asked, my voice low. Regina didn't miss a beat. Oh, nothing, dear. It's just, well, given your limited educational background, it's rather surprising that Zoe would excel so dramatically in academics. The silence in the room was deafening. My face burned with humiliation and fury. Excuse me? I managed, my voice tight. Regina shrugged, her lips curving into a smug smile. Let's be honest, Lois. You're a college dropout working as a waitress. It's hardly the environment to foster academic excellence. One has to wonder if, perhaps there's been some assistance beyond mere studying. I froze, stunned. Are you accusing my daughter of cheating? Regina's expression didn't waver. I'm simply saying it's unlikely for a child of your background to suddenly become a prodigy. I was shaking with rage. How dare you? Zoe is brilliant and hardworking. Just because I didn't finish college doesn't mean I can't raise an intelligent child. Mom? Zoe's small voice broke through my fury. She stood beside me, her wide, tear-filled eyes searching my face. Am I stupid? My heart shattered. I knelt down, pulling her into a tight hug. No, baby, no. You're smart and amazing. Don't listen to her. I glanced around, searching for Tyler. Surely he'd say something to defend his daughter, but he just stood there, hands in his pockets, avoiding my gaze. I straightened, locking eyes with Regina. This is unacceptable. You can insult me all you want, but don't you dare attack my daughter's intelligence or integrity. Regina raised an eyebrow, unbothered. Perhaps if you finish your education, you'd understand the statistical improbability off. That's enough, I snapped, cutting her off. Come on, Zoe, we're leaving. As we walked to the door, Regina's voice followed us like a sneer. Running away won't change the facts, Lois. Some of us are simply meant for greater things. In the car, Zoe sat quietly, sniffling now and then. You know Grandma's wrong, right? I said softly. You're incredibly smart, and I'm so proud of you. Then why did she say those things? She asked, her voice trembling. I sighed, gripping the steering wheel tighter. Some people can't see past their own prejudices, but we'll prove her wrong, okay? Over the next year, I poured everything into proving Regina wrong, not for her, but for me and Zoe. Between double shifts at the diner, late-night study sessions, and stolen moments with my daughter, I worked toward my secret goal, earning my degree in computer science. One evening, Alexis showed up with takeout, eyeing the mess of textbooks and papers strewn across my kitchen table. Girl, you look like you haven't slept in days. Feels that way, I said, rubbing my eyes. But I'm so close, Lex, I can taste it. I still can't believe you haven't told Regina or Tyler, she said, smirking. I wish I could have seen her face when she mocked your limited education. I can't wait for her to eat her words. I chuckled. It's going to be epic. But I don't want to tell Zoe yet, not until it's done. I don't want her to get her hopes up in case something goes wrong. As the science fair approached, Zoe became more anxious. One night, I found her crying over her project notes. "Hey, sweetie, what's wrong?" I asked, sitting beside her. "Grandma called again," Zoe whispered, her lip trembling. "She said I shouldn't get my hopes up about winning. That it'll be embarrassing when I lose." My blood boiled. I cupped her chin gently, forcing her to meet my eyes. "Zoe, listen to me. Your grandmother is wrong. You're brilliant and this project is amazing. Don't let her or anyone else tell you otherwise." The next day, I received an unexpected call from Mrs. Peterson, the school administrator. Her voice was low, hesitant. "Mrs. Carter, I thought you should know. Mrs. Blackwood came by the school yesterday. She tried to bribe Mr. Johnson to lower Zoe's grades. I nearly dropped the phone." "She did what?" "Mr. Johnson refused, of course." I thanked Mrs. Peterson, my mind racing. This was a new low, even for Regina. Over the next few days, I quietly collected evidence of her sabotage. Emails, recorded phone calls, witness statements. Each piece of proof was tucked away carefully, a shield for Zoe if I ever needed it. Finally, the day of the science fair arrived. Zoe's project, a stunning model on renewable energy showcasing solar panels, wind turbines, and a miniature hydroelectric dam, stood proudly among the other displays. She had poured her heart into it, and I couldn't have been prouder. When the judge announced, "And the first place goes to Zoe Carter," the auditorium erupted in applause. Zoe's face lit up as she stepped forward to accept her ribbon, her smile radiant. My heart swelled with pride, and tears stemmed my eyes. But the celebration was short-lived. "This is preposterous." Regina's sharp voice sliced through the cheers like a knife. "There's no way she could have done this on her own. She must have cheated." The room fell silent. Zoe's smile faltered, and I saw her clutch the ribbon tighter, her hands trembling. Tears welled in her wide, innocent eyes, and my blood boiled. "How dare you?" I hissed, turning to face Regina. "Your own granddaughter wins, and this is how you react." Regina's face was red with indignation. "Oh, please. We all know this is beyond her capabilities, and yours. For that matter, who really did this project? That meddling neighbor of yours?" I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. "Regina, Zoe worked tirelessly on this project with guidance from Mr. Chen and me. Just because you refuse to believe in her abilities doesn't make them any less real. I demand an investigation." Regina snapped, looking around for support. But instead of backing her, the other parents and teachers were inching away, exchanging uncomfortable glances. "That's enough," I said firmly, locking eyes with her. "Regina, we need to talk. Now." I led her to a quiet corner of the school, my mind made up. Enough was enough. It was time to put her in her place for Zoe's sake and my own. "I've had enough of your games," I began, pulling a folder from my bag. Inside was everything. Evidence of her sabotage attempts, including her bribe to Mr. Johnson. Regina's smug expression faltered. "What is this?" she stammered. "Oh, just proof of you trying to undermine your granddaughter," I said coolly. "And that's not all." From another pocket, I pulled out my diploma. "I've been working toward this in secret, studying online, juggling jobs, and raising Zoe. I graduated last month with a degree in computer science." Regina's jaw dropped. That's impossible." "Oh, it's very possible," I replied, feeling a surge of triumph. Just then, Tyler approached, concern etched on his face. "What's going on?" he asked. I didn't hesitate. I laid it all out: my studies, Regina's actions, and the lengths she had gone to sabotage her own granddaughter. Tyler's face paled as I spoke. "Mom, how could you?" he whispered, his voice thick with disbelief. Regina sputtered, searching for a defense, but there was none. Meanwhile, whispers spread among the other parents, and the carefully constructed facade Regina had maintained began to crumble. "And one more thing," I added, my voice steady. "I've been offered a position at Tech Innovate, a senior role with a salary that'll give Zoe and me a fresh start. We're leaving this behind." The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Zoe and I moved into a beautiful new home, leaving behind the cramped apartment that had seen so many struggles. Regina faced social isolation as word of her actions spread. Her high society friends distanced themselves, and her influence waned. As for Tyler, he started therapy and reached out, wanting to rebuild his relationship with Zoe and me. "I'm sorry," he said during one visit. I should have stood up to her years ago. I nodded but kept my distance. You should have. Let's take it slow for Zoe's sake. That summer, we hosted a housewarming party. Alexis helped decorate with colorful streamers and fairy lights while Mr. Chen brought his famous dumplings. Zoe buzzed with excitement, showing off her room and the garden she'd already started planting. To new beginnings. Alexis toasted, raising her glass as everyone cheered. Zoe hugged me tightly, her eyes shining with pride. Mom, you're my hero. I hugged her back, tears threatening to spill. No, Zoe. You're mine. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary, a 29-year-old marketing executive living in the heart of Chicago. I'm 6 months into married life with my amazing husband, William, a brilliant software engineer. Together, we've built our dream home. A sleek, modern apartment that feels like a slice of heaven after long, busy days at work. Babe, have you seen my laptop charger? William called out one morning, rushing around in his usual pre-work frenzy. Check the drawer in the entryway, I replied, sipping my coffee as I admired our carefully curated living room. Every piece of furniture had been a joint decision, reflecting our shared taste and values. Just as William unearthed his charger, a sharp knock echoed through the apartment. My stomach sank. I knew that knock. Susan, I muttered to William, plastering on a smile as he opened the door. In waltzed William's grandmother, all 75 years of her, with her ever-present air of judgment. She surveyed our minimalist decor with a raised brow. Oh, still keeping the place like a spaceship, I see, she remarked, disdain dripping from her words. I bit my tongue and forced a polite smile. Good morning, Susan. Would you like some coffee? No, thank you, dear, she said, waving her hand dismissively. Who knows what fancy concoctions you youngsters put in coffee these days? Probably something that would upset my stomach. William jumped in, trying to ease the tension. Grandma, we were just about to head to work. Do you need something? Susan scoffed. Can't a grandmother check on her grandson without needing something? I just wanted to see if he finally added some warmth to this place. I couldn't help myself. We love our home, Susan. It's exactly how we want it. Of course you do, dear, she replied with a condescending pat on my arm. You'll learn as you get older. As Susan continued her uninvited inspection of our apartment, William pulled me aside. I'm sorry, he whispered. You know how she is. I nodded, swallowing my frustration. Her visits were becoming more frequent, and my patience was wearing thin. That evening, while packing for an upcoming business trip, the dreaded question came up. Honey, William began hesitantly, do you think we should give Grandma Susan a spare key? You know, just in case of emergencies while we're gone. I froze mid-fold, staring at him. Are you sure that's necessary? We're only going to be gone for a week. I know, he said, but it would make her feel better. And who knows? Maybe we'll need someone to water the plants or something. I sighed, knowing this wasn't a battle worth fighting. All right, but make sure she knows it's for emergencies only. The next morning, as we headed out, Susan arrived to collect the key. Don't you worry about a thing, she said, her smile a little too bright and a glint in her eye that made me uneasy. I'll take good care of your home. As the taxi pulled away, I couldn't shake the nagging feeling we'd made a mistake. But I pushed it aside, focusing on the trip ahead. Little did I know that decision would set off a chain of events I never could have imagined. After a grueling week of meetings and presentations, William and I returned, dragging our suitcases down the hallway. I can't wait to crash on the couch, William groaned, fumbling with the key. As soon as we stepped inside, something felt off. The air was heavy, with an odd, musty smell. Did you leave a light on? I asked, noticing a warm glow of lamps instead of our usual cool LEDs. No, he replied, confused. I flipped on the main light and gasped. Our sleek, modern living room was gone. In its place stood heavy, ornate antique furniture, straight out of a Victorian mansion. What the hell? William muttered, frozen in place. This isn't a mistake, I snapped, my shock quickly turning to fury. This is Susan. She's gone too far this time. William's face paled as realization dawned. William stared at me, his voice trembling. But why would she do this? Because she's never respected our choices, I snapped. She's always criticized our style, our lifestyle, and now she's crossed the line by violating our home. My hand shot toward my phone. We need to call her right now. William grabbed my arm, his voice calm but firm. Wait, Mary. It's late. Maybe we should sleep on this and approach her calmly tomorrow. Calmly? I echoed, incredulous. Are you kidding me? She broke into our home and stole our things. She's still my grandmother, he replied weakly. And I'm your wife. William, don't you get it? Our home has been violated. Our voices rose as we argued, our emotions raw and tangled. William wanted to handle the situation diplomatically, fearing family repercussions, while I was consumed with a need for justice. Fine, I spat, crossing my arms. We'll do it your way. But first thing tomorrow, we're confronting her. Fuming, I stomped to the bathroom to wash up. As I passed the trash can, something caught my eye. My heart stopped. Trembling, I reached in and pulled out the shattered remains of a delicate porcelain vase. My mother's vase. The only thing I had left of her. No, 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 I whispered, cradling the broken pieces as tears streamed down my face. Mary? What's wrong? William appeared in the doorway, his concern etched across his face. I looked up at him, my voice breaking. She broke my mom's vase, William. She threw it away, like it was nothing. The color drained from William's face as he knelt beside me. That's it, I said, my voice cold with fury. I don't care what time it is. We're calling Susan now, and we're getting our things back. All of it. William nodded, the weight of his grandmother's actions finally sinking in. The next morning, we sat through a tense, silent breakfast, picking at food neither of us could stomach. Suddenly, the jingle of keys at the door broke the silence, and in waltzed Susan, a triumphant smile on her face. Good morning, dears. I hope you love what I've done with the place. It's so much more homey now, isn't it? I stood slowly, my hands clenched into fists. Homey? You call this homey? You broke into our apartment and stole our things. Susan's smile faltered. Broke in. I used the key you gave me, and I didn't steal anything. I improved this sterile box you call a home. Improved? I snapped. You replaced everything without our permission. You threw away our belongings. William stepped between us, his tone measured but firm. Grandma, we appreciate that you were trying to help, but this wasn't okay. You can't just change someone's home without asking. Susan waved a dismissive hand. Oh, you young people are so sensitive. I was doing you a favor. These antiques are worth a fortune. We don't want your antiques, I shouted. We want our things back. Where are they? Now, dear, Susan said, her tone condescending. No need to get hysterical. This is much better for you both. In fact, she turned to William, her expression softening. I've been meaning to talk to you about your choice in partners. William's eyes widened. What are you talking about? Susan placed a hand on his arm. Sweetheart, I've seen how she treats you, always pushing her modern ideas, never respecting tradition. You'd be much better off with someone who appreciates family values. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Are you seriously trying to break us up over furniture? It's not just about furniture, Susan snapped. It's about respect, something you clearly lack. I laughed bitterly. Respect? You're the one who violated our home and our trust. William stepped back, shaking his head. His voice was cold when he spoke. Grandma, is this true? Have you been trying to turn me against Mary? Susan's face hardened. I'm only looking out for your best interests, dear. This girl isn't right for you. Something in William snapped. No, Grandma, you're not looking out for me. You're trying to control me. And Mary isn't just some girl, she's my wife. And I love her. William, don't be ridiculous. You can't possibly. Enough. William's voice thundered, silencing both Susan and me. I want you to leave, Grandma, now, and don't come back. Susan's face turned red with fury. You ungrateful brat. After everything I've done for you. Fine, have it your way. But don't come crawling back when she ruins your life. And you can forget about your inheritance. With that, she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was deafening. William and I stood there, shell-shocked. I'm so sorry, William whispered, pulling me into a hug. I had no idea she was capable of this. I held him tightly, relief and sadness washing over me. It's not your fault, but what do we do now? The next few hours were a whirlwind of assessing the damage. Many of our belongings were gone, and others were damaged beyond repair. But nothing stung more than the loss of my mother's vase. We need to file a police report, I said finally. I know she's your grandmother, but this is theft and destruction of property. William nodded grimly. You're right, it won't be easy since we gave her the key, but we have to try. In the months that followed, we decided we needed a fresh start, far from the memories and the drama. Chicago had become a battleground, and we were ready to reclaim our peace. When William's company offered him a promotion in Seattle, it felt like fate giving us a fresh start. Are you sure about this? William asked as we packed up the last of our belongings in Chicago. It's a big move. I smiled, feeling more confident than I had in months. I'm sure. This is our chance to build something new together. Seattle welcomed us with open arms. Our new apartment boasted a stunning view of the Space Needle, and we took our time furnishing it, carefully choosing pieces that reflected both our styles. It felt like the home we'd always dreamed of, one built on mutual respect and love. As William settled into his new role, I decided to take a leap of faith and start my own marketing consultancy. All the frustration and anger I'd harbored towards Susan, I channeled into building my business. You're going to crush it, William said, kissing me on the cheek as I prepped for my first client meeting. And crush it I did. Within 6 months, I had a full roster of clients and was earning more than I ever had at my old job. Through the grapevine, we heard that Susan was spinning her own version of events back in Chicago. One day, William's cousin called, her voice laced with concern. Grandma's telling everyone you two are ungrateful and cruel, she said. But don't worry, none of us believe her. We've all had our own run-ins with her helpfulness. It was a relief to know that not everyone bought into Susan's narrative. In fact, her antics had driven many family members to reach out to us with support. A year after the move, William and I were sitting on our perfect couch, admiring our new home. The space was a beautiful blend of modern and traditional, a true reflection of us both. Can you believe how far we've come? I asked, snuggling into William's side. It's been quite a journey, he replied, squeezing my hand. But I wouldn't change a thing. Well, except maybe giving Grandma that spare key. We laughed, the pain of that chapter dulled by time and distance. The next day, we received an unexpected call from William's dad. You won't believe this, he said, his tone a mix of shock and something else. Your grandmother's been scammed. She's lost nearly all her savings. Apparently, Susan had fallen victim to fraudsters who preyed on her need for control, convincing her to invest in a scheme promising to teach ungrateful youth the value of tradition. When William hung up the phone, we sat in silence for a moment, processing the news. I don't feel happy about this, I admitted quietly. Just a strange sense of karmic justice. You okay? I asked, watching William's face carefully. He nodded slowly. Yeah, I am. It's sad, but it feels like the universe is balancing things out, you know? I nodded, understanding exactly what he meant. We didn't celebrate Susan's downfall, but neither could we deny the poetic nature of it all. As I reflected on everything we'd been through, the pain, the anger, the fresh start, I realized it had all led us to this moment. We were stronger, wiser, and happier than ever. If you were in my shoes, would you have confronted Susan immediately or taken William's diplomatic approach? And how would you have handled the aftermath, cut all ties, or try to maintain some family connection? If you enjoyed this story of overcoming toxic family dynamics, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi, I'm Karen, 34 years old, and let me tell you about the battle I fought with the most toxic mother-in-law you could ever imagine. Trust me, he'll want to stick around to hear how this ends. The twins were finally asleep. I collapsed onto the couch, exhausted from another chaotic day. Just as I started to relax, my phone buzzed. Michael, my husband, texted yet again. I'm so sorry, honey. Another late meeting. This project is critical. I'll make it up to you this weekend. I sighed, typing back, it's okay. I miss you, though. It was the truth. Between his endless business trips and late nights, I was practically raising our 5-year-old twins on my own. And then the doorbell rang. My heart sank. Not again. Peeking through the window, I saw her, Monica, my mother-in-law, standing there with her signature scowl. I opened the door reluctantly. Karen, why aren't you answering your phone? And why is there a toy in the driveway? That's dangerous. It's 8 p.m., Monica. The kids are asleep. Well, if you were a more organized mother, they'd be in bed by 7:30 when Michael was little. Monica, I interrupted, my patience thin. We've talked about this. Please don't show up unannounced. Before she could launch into another lecture, my phone rang. It was Sarah, my old work friend and a much-needed lifeline. Karen, you're not going to believe this, Sarah said, her voice buzzing with excitement. Thompson and Brooks is hiring. Senior Marketing Director. This could be your comeback. Later that week, I met Sarah for coffee. I miss work so much, I admitted, stirring my latte. The twins are in kindergarten now. It feels like the perfect time. Of course it is. Remember that campaign you led? Increase sales by 40%. You're wasting your talent at home. Just as I started to feel hopeful, the door jingled, and in walked Barbara, Monica's best friend. Great. Karen, fancy seeing you here. Barbara sneered. Monica mentioned you were neglecting those poor babies to job hunt. I rolled my eyes, my phone buzzing again. This time, it was my sister Rachel. Don't let her get to you. Remember last month? Ah yes, last month. The school incident. Monica had tried to pick up the twins without my permission, throwing a fit about her so-called grandmother's rights. That memory still made my blood boil. You're making a mistake, Monica declared during her next uninvited visit. Michael works so hard to provide for you. Your children need their mother at home. I squared my shoulders. My children need a happy, fulfilled mother. And Michael supports my decision. Her eyes narrowed. We'll see about that. I ignored her, updating my resume, scheduling interviews, and finally getting the call. Mrs. Thompson would like to meet you next Tuesday, the recruiter said. Senior Marketing Director. I hung up, my hands trembling with excitement. Rachel agreed to watch the twins, and Sarah helped me pick out the perfect outfit. You've got this, Sarah said firmly. Don't let Monica hold you back. Little did I know, Monica and Barbara were already scheming to sabotage everything I'd worked for. That evening, Monica called. Her voice screeched through the phone as I ironed my suit. Going back to work is the most selfish thing you could do, Karen. Michael's job requires him to travel, and those babies need their mother. The twins are thriving in kindergarten, I replied calmly, and Michael supports my decision. Oh, does he? She hissed. We'll see what he says when he finds out you're abandoning his children. I hung up, shaking. Michael was out of town for a week-long conference, and his absence always emboldened her. Rachel, are you sure you can watch the twins Tuesday? I asked, pacing. Stop worrying, Rachel reassured me. They'll have a blast. Monica won't even know where to find them. The next morning, my phone buzzed. A frantic text from Sarah. Karen, heads up. Barbara was bragging at the office about teaching you a lesson. She knows about your interview. My stomach dropped. Of course, Barbara. She worked in HR at Thompson and Brooks. That afternoon, Monica showed up again, smug as ever. I know all about your little interview. Barbara told me everything. Monica sneered, crossing her arms. I shot back. This is none of your business. Everything about my son's children is my business, she snapped. I've already spoken to a lawyer about my rights. My stomach tightened. What lawyer? What rights? You'll see, grandparents have rights too, and when you abandon these children for your selfish career. Get out of my house, Monica. Now. She smirked as if she'd already won. You really should answer your phone more often. Michael's been trying to reach you. I checked my phone. Nothing. Another manipulation tactic. Later, Sarah called, her voice tense. Karen, I overheard Barbara on the phone. She was talking about some lawyer named Jenkins. He's known for aggressive custody battles. I Googled him. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. This wasn't a bluff. Monica was escalating. Tuesday morning arrived. I dropped the twins off at Rachel's, triple-checked my portfolio, and arrived at Thompson and Brooks a full 30 minutes early. The receptionist smiled. Mrs. Thompson will see you now. The interview was going better than I could have hoped. Mrs. Thompson nodded, impressed. Your previous campaigns are remarkable. Why the 5-year gap? I chose to stay home with my twins until they started school. I explained confidently. Then the door burst open. 2 police officers entered, followed by Monica, hysterical and pointing at me. That's her. She's taken my grandbabies. She's trying to flee the state. Mrs. Thompson's jaw dropped. Excuse me? My children are with my sister. I stammered, pulling out my phone. I can prove it. One officer stepped forward. Ma'am, we received a report of potential child endangerment and kidnapping. She's keeping them from their father. Monica wailed. Michael doesn't even know where they are. My hands trembled as I called Rachel. This couldn't be happening. 5 years of Monica's interference had led to this moment, but I never imagined she'd go this far. Minutes later, Rachel arrived with the twins in tow. They ran to me, hugging my legs tightly. I'm your aunt and authorized caregiver, Rachel said, handing over documents. I have texts from both Karen and Michael confirming the arrangement. The officers reviewed the paperwork while Monica's dramatic act started to crumble. Ma'am, one officer said firmly, filing a false police report is a serious offense. Mrs. Thompson cleared her throat, her expression unreadable. I think we're done here, Karen. Given today's disruption, we'll be pursuing other candidates. Back home, Michael finally called. Karen, what's going on? Mom's hysterical, saying you're trying to kidnap the kids. Your mother just destroyed my job opportunity. She called the police during my interview. She was just worried about the kids. Stop defending her, Michael. This has to end. That evening, Sarah called with shocking news. Remember Michael's ex, Jessica? I found her on Facebook. You need to hear her story. The next day, I met Jessica over coffee. Her face was pale but determined. Monica did the same thing to me, she revealed. She convinced Michael I was cheating, spread rumors at my workplace. I had to leave town to escape her harassment. My jaw tightened. How many others? At least 3 that I know of. There's a whole support group. I spent the next week gathering evidence. Monica had tried accessing the twins' school records using Barbara's HR connections. She told our neighbors I was mentally unstable and started rumors at Michael's company about our marriage. Michael, you need to see this. I laid out everything. Jessica's story, school incident reports, screenshots of Monica's texts. Michael's face went pale. Mom did all this? To Jessica, too. She's not protecting the twins, Michael. She's trying to control everything. That night, Sarah called again. Karen, Barbara just got caught falsifying HR records. She was trying to block your application, but they found more. Years of manipulation, blocked promotions, leaked personal information. Michael finally confronted Monica. How could you do this? To Karen, to Jessica, to all of them. I was protecting you, she screamed. These women aren't good enough for you. No, Mom, you're the one who isn't good enough. Stay away from my family. After everything I'd done for you, that woman has turned you against me. Karen showed me the truth. We're done, Mom. Don't contact us again. Later that night, Michael held me close. I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. All those years. I started a detailed log of every interaction with Monica. Rachel helped me install security cameras, and Sarah connected me with a support group for victims of toxic in-laws. We're building a case, my lawyer explained. If she continues harassing you, we'll be ready. As I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I felt an unfamiliar sense of peace. Monica's web of lies was unraveling, and this time I wasn't afraid. I had the truth, the proof, and most importantly, Michael finally saw his mother's true nature. Whatever Monica planned next, we were ready. After the Thompson and Brooks disaster, I decided to bet on myself. 6 months later, my marketing consultancy was thriving. Mrs. Parker from Latitude Brands called. They want to double their contract, my assistant announced, beaming. I smiled, still amazed at how far I'd come. My phone buzzed. It was Sarah. Karen, turn on the local news. Barbara's scandal just exploded. The reporter's voice filled my office. Barbara Mitchell and Monica Wilson are under investigation for extensive financial fraud. Sources reveal the two used their positions to embezzle funds from multiple companies over the last decade. Before I could process, Michael's brother, Tom, called next. Karen, I just saw the news. I had no idea Mom was involved in Barbara's schemes. All these years, she told me you were the problem. She manipulated everyone, Tom, I said gently. I know that now, he admitted, his voice heavy. I found the letters she hid, birthday cards, Christmas presents for the kids. She intercepted everything, claiming you and Michael didn't want us in contact. Later that week, our lawyer updated us on Monica's situation. She's been caught helping Barbara funnel money through fake consulting contracts. The fraud investigation also uncovered the false police reports, harassment, and her attempts to access private records, he explained. Michael squeezed my hand. Good, she needs to face consequences. Watching Monica's carefully constructed world crumble was surreal. Her country club membership was revoked, her church committee positions eliminated, and her friends avoided her calls. She's selling her house, Tom reported. Moving to Arizona. Nobody here will associate with her anymore. Meanwhile, my business continued to flourish. I landed major contracts, hired more staff, and even opened a second office. Mommy, look. The twins ran in, holding their school awards. We got highest marks in art and math. That's amazing. Should we show Daddy when he gets home? Yes, and can we have pizza to celebrate? The doorbell rang. It was Linda, Monica's former neighbor. Monica asked me to give you this letter, Linda said hesitantly. She's filing for bankruptcy. Says she's changed and wants to make amends. I took the sealed envelope. Thank you, Linda. But no, thank you. I placed the letter in the trash. Some bridges can't be rebuilt. That night, the twins, pajama-clad, begged for one more story before bed. As I tucked them in, I glanced at Monica's unopened letter. Some people never change, but I had. I was no longer the scared daughter-in-law desperate for approval. I built something beautiful, a thriving business, a stronger marriage, happy children, and a life free from toxic influence. What would you do if you discovered your mother-in-law's protective behavior was actually a pattern of destroying every relationship in her son's life? Would you expose her immediately or gather evidence first, like I did? Let me know in the comments. I'm especially curious to hear from those who've dealt with toxic in-laws who tried to control their children's lives. Have you ever experienced someone weaponizing grandparents' rights? This story came to an end, but there are countless others of people standing up to toxic family members. If you want to hear more about how others overcame similar situations, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us share stories that many are too afraid to tell. Stay strong, because sometimes the family you need to cut off is the one you married into. Drop it if you agree. Hi, I'm Linda. Trust me, you won't believe what I've been through. Living with my husband's family wasn't exactly the dream. Lucas promised it would be temporary. Just until we save up, he said when we got married 2 years ago. 2 years and I'm still stuck under their roof. I'm an interior designer, and a dang good one. My client list is growing and my designs have even made it into local magazines. You'd think my husband would be proud, right? Wrong. You're spending too much time at the office, Linda. Who are all his clients anyway? Lucas would grill me nearly every night over dinner. They're just clients, Lucas. You know I'm working on that new restaurant downtown. His mother, Regina, would pipe in as she passed the mashed potatoes. A proper wife should be home more. In our family, we believe in traditional values. Traditional values, I was sick of hearing it. Lucas's sisters, Amber and Kira, always found ways to pile on. Maybe if you dressed more modestly, Lucas wouldn't worry so much. Amber would comment, her eyes darting to my sleeveless blouse. I'm in my home. I snapped once. Technically, our home, Regina corrected with a tight smile. Every time I suggested finding a place of our own, Lucas shut me down. Not this again, Linda. You know Dad's health isn't great. He needs us here. Conveniently, Richard, my father-in-law, would cough dramatically, though I'd seen him swinging golf clubs just last week. The breaking point came when I met Natalie, a coworker who quickly became my first real friend since moving in. Girl, you need to set some boundaries, she said over lunch one day. It's not normal for your husband to check your phone every night. He doesn't check it, I mumbled. He just glances at it sometimes. Linda, that's still checking, and living with his family, that's just asking for trouble. That evening, Lucas was waiting when I got home. His arms were crossed, his face tight. Who's Natalie? Why are you having lunch with her so often? She's my coworker, Lucas. We're working on the Morrison project together. You never mentioned her before. Are you hiding something? I took a deep breath, my frustration boiling over. The only thing I'm hiding is how miserable I am. We need our own space, Lucas. I love you, but this isn't healthy. His voice rose, sharp with accusation. What isn't healthy is my wife forgetting her family values. As if on cue, Regina entered the room, her tongue dripping with judgment. Lucas is right, dear. You've changed. All this attention at work, it's gone to your head. Pride comes before a fall, you know. I'm not proud, Regina. I'm successful. There's a difference. I went to bed that night feeling caged, the walls of the house closing in. The next day, after an exhausting shift, I walked into the kitchen to find the family gathered for dinner. You're late again, Lucas muttered without looking up. Had to finish the Morrison project. Work, work, work. Regina sighed. Maybe you should focus on your home instead. I clenched my fists. Lucas, I've been thinking. That new development across town has some beautiful houses. We should look. Not this again, Linda, he interrupted. Our life is here with family. Your family, Lucas, not mine. Richard let out his token cough. Son, your mother needs help with her medications. And my heart. They need us here, Lucas insisted, his tone resolute. They need you. I need my husband. I need privacy. Privacy? He scoffed. What are you hiding, Linda? That was it. I stormed out into the garden, the crisp night air biting against my skin. Stars sparkled mockingly above as tears burned hot down my cheeks. How had my life become this prison? Hey, everything okay? Jack's voice startled me. Just family stuff, I admitted, wiping my face quickly. The whole moving out discussion again. Jack, the only member of Lucas's family who seemed to understand, nodded knowingly. This family can be a lot. I get it. I laughed bitterly. Is it too much to ask for a little space of our own? He smiled softly. You know what's funny? Even when you're upset, you still look put together. Must be that beautiful hair of yours, like something out of a shampoo commercial. I managed a weak laugh, but the moment shattered as I heard footsteps behind us. Lucas had come to the garden, likely to apologize, but when he saw Jack compliment my hair, his face darkened. Without a word, he spun around and retreated. Later, in our bedroom, the silence between us was suffocating. Lucas's voice finally cut through, sharp and cold. Cover your hair. I blinked, sure I'd misheard. What? You heard me. If you're going to live in this house, cover your hair. My jaw dropped. This is insane. I've told you, Lucas, we need our own place. Then you wouldn't have to obsess over who sees my hair. My father needs us here. I scoffed. Your father plays golf every weekend. He's fine. His eyes narrowed, his tone unrelenting. Cover your hair. No, I won't. I crossed my arms, trembling with anger. This is exactly why we need to move. Your jealousy is out of control. He didn't respond, just turned his back to me. I sighed, grabbed a sleeping pill, and lay down, turning my back to him. The only way I could find rest in this house anymore was with medication. Fine, have it your way, he muttered. As the pill pulled me into sleep, I vaguely heard him pacing. The rustle of a drawer opening filtered through my haze, followed by a sudden, chilling sensation on my scalp. I tried to stir, to protest, but the medication dragged me under. When I woke, something felt off. My hand instinctively went to my hair. The flowing locks I had spent years growing were gone. In their place were jagged, uneven strands barely reaching my ears. I bolted to the mirror and screamed. Regina appeared at the door, coffee cup in hand. What's all this noise about? I turned, trembling with fury. Look at what he did to my hair. She tilted her head, sipping her coffee casually. Oh dear. Trying out a new style? It's different. Different. Lucas cut my hair while I was sleeping. Her lips pursed into a smug smile. Well, it'll grow back. Maybe next time you'll listen. I stormed downstairs, finding Lucas at the breakfast table, calmly eating as if nothing had happened. How could you do this to me? I demanded. He didn't even flinch. Do what? You needed to learn respect. Respect? You violated me while I was asleep. Amber, who had just entered the room, rolled her eyes. Don't be so dramatic. It's just hair. It'll grow back if you behave. I couldn't take it anymore. I called in sick to work, but Natalie showed up at the house that afternoon. The moment she saw me, her eyes widened in shock. Oh my God, Linda, pack your things. You're staying with me tonight. At Natalie's apartment, I broke down as she made tea. It's worse than you think, she said, her face grave. The Morrison project. Lucas called them last week. He tried to cancel the contract, said you were mentally unstable. He what? And that's not all. Remember the Petersons? Regina's been spreading rumors at the country club that you're having an affair with a client. My hands shook as I scrolled through my calendar. Cancelled appointments stared back at me. It was him, I whispered. Natalie grabbed my hands. Linda, this is abuse. You need to document everything. That night, I ordered hidden cameras. While the family was at church, I installed them in our bedroom, the kitchen, and the living room. What I found made my blood run cold. Footage showed Regina rummaging through my drawers, Amber scrolling through my phone while I was in the shower, Kira photographing my personal documents, Lucas reporting my every move to his mother. Then came the damning conversation. In the kitchen, Regina spoke in a low voice. The hair was a good start, son, but she's still too independent. Maybe we should take her phone next. Remember how well that worked with Diana? My heart sank. Diana. That night, I scoured my email and found a chilling subject line. I was Lucas's ex. Hi, Linda. I saw your picture in the design magazine and recognized Lucas. I need to warn you, what they did to my hair was just the beginning. They isolated me, sabotaged my job, spread rumors until I had nothing left. I fled to Chicago. Please be careful. Diana and I exchanged messages for hours. Her stories mirrored mine. Regina going through her phone. Lucas canceling her clients. The family gaslighting her at every turn. Weeks of pretending followed. While outwardly playing the obedient wife, I secretly packed documents, backed up evidence to the cloud, and finalized plans to escape. Natalie secured me a position at a prestigious firm in Boston, and Diana revealed the family's darkest secret. The fraud goes deep, she told me. I worked in their accounting department. Richard funneled stolen money into offshore accounts. Mrs. Peterson's charity donation, it never made it to the foundation. Diana's information was the key. I anonymously tipped off their largest client, and auditors descended like a storm. The morning it all came crashing down, Lucas stormed into the bedroom, his face contorted with rage. Did you do this? Did you trigger the audit? I looked up from packing my suitcase, calm for the first time in months. Me? I'm just your unstable wife, remember? The one you mutilated in her sleep. Regina barged in, pale as a ghost. They're going through everything. Good, I smiled, pulling out the divorce papers. And so will the court. Lucas's face twisted with rage. You ungrateful little. Save it, I cut him off, my voice calm but firm. I have everything on camera, the harassment, the abuse, those late-night family meetings where you all plotted to break me. Oh, and Diana says hi, by the way. The color drained from their faces. You can't prove anything, Richard wheezed, his usual bravado cracking. I tilted my head, feigning sympathy. The cameras caught you discussing the offshore accounts in the kitchen last week. Oops. The scandal hit like a tsunami. Lucas and Richard were swiftly indicted on fraud charges, and I moved to Boston to start anew. My lawyer made sure I got my fair share in the divorce. Half of everything Lucas owned before his assets were frozen by the court. Weeks later, Natalie sent me a local news link. The headline read, Bennett family business empire crumbles. Father and son face federal charges. I couldn't help but smile as I texted her back. Karma's a better designer than me. Diana flew in to celebrate, her laughter as infectious as ever. They selling the house yet? She grinned over a glass of wine. Yep. Regina and his sisters had to move into a small apartment. I replied, savoring every word. I heard Amber's country club membership got revoked, and Kira's fiancé called off the wedding. Apparently, his family doesn't approve of criminals. 2 years flew by. My design firm in Boston flourished, specializing in women's shelters and safe houses, spaces designed for healing and strength. My hair grew back, longer and stronger than ever, a living testament to resilience. Then came the call I'd been waiting for. Lucas was sentenced to 5 years in prison for fraud. Richard got 7. Their business was gone, their reputation destroyed, their social status obliterated. During one of Natalie's monthly visits, she asked, How does it feel? I ran my fingers through my long, flowing hair, smiling. Like justice. Regina tried to reach out once, probably looking for money. I blocked her number. The last I heard, she and her daughters were working retail jobs, their designer clothes and luxury cars long gone. Recently, my latest shelter project was featured in Architectural Digest. When the interviewer asked about my inspiration, I simply said, Sometimes, the most beautiful designs come from rebuilding after destruction. What would you do if your spouse's family tried to strip away your career, your freedom, and your identity, and actively participated in your destruction? Would you quietly escape, or would you ensure they face the consequences of their actions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Abuse isn't always physical. It can be the slow erosion of your independence, confidence, and sense of self. If Linda's story resonated with you, share your experience. Your voice could help someone else find their strength. And remember, abuse thrives in silence, but power comes from breaking free. Hi, I'm Anna Loron. Revenge, it's best served with a side of exposed lies and a sprinkle of justice. As the morning sun warms my food truck, steam rises from my grandmother's signature coq au vin. My hands work instinctively, muscle memory honed from years spent by her side in our cozy French kitchen. Cooking isn't about perfection, Grandmère used to say. It's about love, truth, and tradition. A customer's voice snaps me from my memories. This is incredible. You should have your own restaurant. That's how I met Kevin. It started with him sampling my bourbon bread pudding at a festival booth, followed by coffee, dinner, and eventually a ring. My family's going to adore you, he promised. Mom owned restaurants, and my sister Rachel is an amazing food influencer. I believed him. I thought I was stepping into a family of food lovers, kindred spirits. That illusion shattered the first dinner at the Morgan Mansion. Diana Morgan, Kevin's mother, scrutinized my every move like a hawk eyeing prey. Rachel, her darling daughter, spent the evening posting photos of store-bought pastries she passed off as her own. "Did you really make this yourself?" Diana asked, her eyebrows arched high as she poked at my rustic appetizer. "Mom, stop," Kevin laughed nervously. "Anna's food is amazing." But I saw it in Diana's eyes, the threat detection. A real chef could expose Rachel's polished but fraudulent foodie empire. Later, Marco, an old friend and food critic, warned me. The Morgans control half the restaurants in this city. Diana's got critics in her pocket. Be careful. Jessica, another food blogger, showed me Rachel's Instagram. Look at these original recipes. They're stolen from small chefs who can't fight back. Kevin defended them at first. They're just protecting their reputation. But over time, I watched my once supportive fiancé morph into Diana's obedient puppet. The final blow came with the announcement of an upcoming dinner party for the city's top food critics. Rachel will showcase her latest creations, Diana said smugly. I could help, I offered. Diana's icy glare cut through me. Darling, this is a professional event. Why don't you just observe? Kevin said nothing, suddenly engrossed in his phone. That night, Jessica sent me Rachel's latest post, a picture of my grandmother's coq au vin, rebranded as Rachel's innovative fusion recipe. My blood boiled. The critics will destroy her, I whispered. No, Jessica said grimly. Diana owns them. Tomorrow's dinner would change everything. The Morgans thought they knew power, but they had no idea what was cooking. The Morgan Mansion's kitchen buzzed with pre-dinner chaos. I quietly plated my appetizers, prosciutto-wrapped figs drizzled with a honey lavender glaze. Rachel stormed in, her face red. Mom, she's making her own dishes. This wasn't the plan. Diana appeared, her expression thunderous. What is this? She snapped, eyeing my tray. Just a little something extra, I said innocently. The critics arrived early, gathering with Diana in a corner. I watched thick envelopes discreetly exchange hands. Divine as always, Rachel, one critic gushed over her store-bought pâté. Then my appetizers hit the floor. Whispers turned to murmurs, then genuine praise. Phones emerged to snap photos. This is exquisite, a younger critic said. Who made these? Before Rachel could answer, an older critic spoke up. This has Laurent finesse. Did you study under Madame Laurent in Paris? She was my grandmother, I said quietly. Diana's wine glass shattered against the marble floor. You attention-seeking little snake, she hissed. How dare you upstage Rachel? Kevin appeared at her side. Mom, maybe. Choose, Diana snapped. Your wife's amateur hour or your family's legacy. Kevin wouldn't meet my eyes. Fighting tears, I fled to the garden. My phone buzzed. Rachel's Instagram, featuring my signature figs captioned as another original creation. Through the bathroom window, I overheard Deanna and Rachel. She's ruining everything, Rachel whined. The food truck needs to go, Diana said coldly. We have connections at the health department. Remember the Thai place that competed with Rachel's pop-up? Sophia, the housekeeper, found me sitting among the roses. You're not the first they've crushed, she said softly. Rachel failed out of culinary school. Diana paid the dean to call it a family emergency. Diana Morgan thrives on silence. Speak up and you disappear. My phone buzzes again. A headline from a local food blog. Rising star chef Rachel Morgan stuns critics with innovative winter menu. I stifle a bitter laugh. The critics praised her overcooked salmon with standing ovations. Diana beamed. Kevin smirked at me, squeezing my shoulder just a little too hard. Family knows best, babe, he whispered. Stay in your lane. Across the room, the young critic who complimented my figs caught my eye and gave a subtle shake of his head. Fear. Diana's iron grip was on full display, her victory lap in motion. Rachel inherited my culinary genius, Diana boasted. Her pointed glare added the unspoken. Some people should stick to food trucks, if they last. The threat hung heavy as I slipped outside. Later, Sophia, the housekeeper, handed me a folder. Why help me? I asked. They destroy my daughter's bakery, she said quietly. Diana blacklisted her into bankruptcy. Inside the folder, evidence of health code bribes, stolen recipes, and deliberate sabotage of competing restaurants. My phone buzzed again. Kevin's text was short and cruel. Change the locks on your food truck storage unit. For the best, babe. Family meeting tomorrow about your future. I thought of Grandmare's words. In cooking, timing is everything. Diana thought she'd won. She thought she protected Rachel's fake empire, but she just handed me the key ingredient for revenge. Proof. The next morning, I played my part perfectly. Apologies. Smiles. Deference. Over coffee, Sophia slid more files into my lap while pretending to clean. Receipts for payoffs to health inspectors. Photos of filthy restaurant kitchens. Emails about competitor sabotage. There's more in the basement storage, she whispered. That night, Marco met me behind my food truck. Got something big, he said. Rachel's taking kickbacks from suppliers. Cheap, contaminated ingredients sold at premium prices. That's why their seafood tastes off and why 3 people got food poisoning last month. Diana buried the reports. Evidence began piling up. A former line cook contacted me through Sophia. Rachel came in after closing to photograph our dishes, then claimed them as her own, he said. Diana made us sign NDAs. Hidden phone recordings captured family meetings. Diana snapped, handle it. When Kevin mentioned health inspectors asking questions about shellfish. Like you handled that Vietnamese place downtown? He asked. Already done, Diana said coldly. Fire accident scheduled for next week. Rachel whined. That new fusion place is stealing my customers. Don't worry, princess. Diana soothed. Their pipes might have an unfortunate leak soon. I stayed in character, the perfect, defeated wife. You're right, Kevin, I said. I should learn from Rachel. He bought it completely. Finally, Mom will be so pleased. More evidence poured in. Financial records revealed payments to nearly every major food critic in town. Former employees shared stories. Rachel couldn't tell basil from oregano, one said. We had to pre-measure everything. Diana threatened my family when I refused to let Rachel claim my signature dish, another added. The young critic who praised my figs reached out. They're blackmailing all of us, he admitted. I'm ready to talk. A USB drive appeared in my locker, surveillance footage of Diana handing envelopes to health inspectors. The Food Network segment films next week, Kevin announced proudly. Rachel's doing your grandmother's coq au vin. I smiled sweetly. She'll do it justice, I'm sure. Marco built the case. 5 destroyed restaurants, 20 bought critics, hundreds of stolen recipes. Diana's hubris grew. See how much better things are when you behave, she said. Rachel posted yet another stolen recipe. My grandmother's tart tatin, calling it her latest creation. The rage simmered, but I stayed cool. Timing is everything. The Food Network cameras rolled as Rachel stumbled through her coq au vin demonstration. Meanwhile, my evidence detonated across every major food publication. Rising star Rachel Morgan exposed, stolen recipes and fake credentials. Morgan family under investigation for health code violations and criminal conspiracy. My phone exploded. First, Rachel, you backstabbing snake. Then Diana, you'll regret this. Finally, Kevin, we can fix this. Please call me. Marco's expose that hit hardest. Surveillance footage of restaurant sabotage, proof of critic payoffs, documents revealing Rachel's culinary school expulsion. The Food Network segment shifted to breaking news coverage as Rachel crumbled on live TV. When asked about the stolen recipes, I didn't hesitate. Those Vietnamese restaurant owners you burned out? I texted Kevin, along with every chef whose recipes Rachel had swiped. They're suing, I added. Health inspectors swarmed the Morgan family restaurants, real ones this time, not Diana's puppets. The violations? They went on longer than Rachel's fake recipe book. Morgan family restaurants shut down amid a health crisis. Social media star Rachel Morgan watched as her follower count plummeted 80%. The bot networks exposed. 5 years flashed by. My food truck, a tribute to Grand Mayor's legacy, became a sensation. Authentic food, real reviews. Diana's empire crumbled, piece by piece, as their restaurants were sold off to cover the mounting lawsuits. Rachel's cookbook deal, canceled. Her influencer career, dead. I couldn't help but laugh when I heard her bitter voice on my voicemail. This is all your fault. Kevin, living in his parents' guest room, his financial career ruined by association, tried one last time. Babe, we can fix this. Family means forgiveness. I deleted his message while sorting through applications for my new restaurant's apprentice program. Young chefs eager to learn the right way. Diana's final attempt came through her lawyer. In light of recent hardships, a reconciliation could benefit all parties. My response was swift. I opened my restaurant in their former flagship location, rebranding it with truth, time, and authenticity. Today, I teach the art of real cooking to passionate students. No shortcuts, no lies, no stolen glory. Just real food. Honest work. One of my youngest apprentices asks, Chef Laurent, is it true the Morgans tried to steal your recipes? I smile, thinking of grandmère. The best recipes can't be stolen. They're passed down with love and earned through hard work. The real food critics rave about my cuisine now. Every review praises how truth, like a perfect sauce, eventually comes to light. Rachel's stuck working at a drive-thru. Diana's blacklisted from every restaurant association. Kevin's living proof that karma, like overcooked fish, is hard to swallow. The Morgans are trying to open a new restaurant, Marco casually mentions during dinner service. Good luck, I say with a laugh. Their only authentic dish is a serving of lies. My restaurant's full every night, not with bought reviews or stolen recipes, but with real food and honest success. They wanted to ban me from the kitchen, but instead, they gave me the ingredients for the perfect revenge. And like Grandmère always said, the secret ingredient is justice, served cold with a side of karma. Have you ever been forced to watch someone steal your passion and talent, while others praise their fake success? What would you do? Speak up immediately and risk everything, or play the long game like Anna did. Tell me about a time when you had to choose between keeping the peace and standing up for your truth. Would you let someone claim your life's work as their own to maintain family harmony? Hi, everyone. My name's Susan Jack. I'm a 28-year-old marketing executive at Sterling & Brooks, one of New York's top firms. On the surface, my life seemed perfect. A thriving career, a loving husband, and a future full of promise. But everything unraveled because of my in-laws. You killed it in that presentation today, James said, wrapping his arms around me as I stirred a pot of pasta. That's my husband, I thought, smiling. Cheerful, supportive. Everything I thought I needed. Thanks, babe. Sarah really helped me fine-tune the projections. I said, thinking of my mentor. This could finally lead to that promotion we've been talking about. With your talent, they'd be fools not to promote you. Sarah had told me earlier during our lunch break. Everything felt like it was falling into place until that Sunday dinner at my in-laws. Patricia, my mother-in-law, sat at the head of the oversized dining table, her sharp eyes locked on me. So, Susan, darling, she began with a saccharine smile. I hear a promotion is on the horizon. The salary bump must be substantial. Mom, that's not really appropriate, James interjected weakly, fiddling with his fork. Oh, hush, James. We're family, Patricia said dismissively before turning back to me. Speaking of family, Emma here has a brilliant business idea. Emma, my sister-in-law, perked up. It's a luxury pet accessories line, very exclusive. I just need some startup capital. Family should help family, Patricia chimed in. George, my father-in-law, nodded silently as always. I forced a smile. I'll have to think about it. This wasn't their first pitch. Last month it was a yoga studio. Before that, a juice bar. Each venture failed spectacularly within weeks. Back at work the next day, I was distracted, my mind racing. Everything okay? Sarah asked, noticing my distracted state. In-law drama, I admitted. They want me to fund another one of Emma's business ventures. Careful, Sarah warned. Start setting boundaries now, or it'll only get worse. But Patricia didn't understand boundaries. She started showing up at my office unannounced. Just happened to be in the neighborhood, she'd say loudly, ensuring my colleagues overheard. Thought I'd see if my successful daughter-in-law could spare some time for family. The whispers started. Must be nice having rich in-laws, a coworker muttered. If they only knew. That evening, as I reviewed a quarterly report, my phone buzzed. Emma, hey sis, about that investment. Mom says with your new promotion you could easily spare $50K. Family helps family, right? I showed the message to James. Maybe we should help, he suggested hesitantly. You know how Mom gets. James, this is getting out of hand, I said firmly. Your sister needs to stand on her own feet. Their family, he mumbled, avoiding my gaze. He fidgeted with his wedding ring. Something wasn't right. Susan, we need to talk, James said later that night, his voice trembling. I put down my laptop. What's wrong? I messed up. I owe some people money. A lot of money. My stomach dropped. How much? 200,000, he whispered, avoiding my eyes. What? I've been gambling. It started small, but it got out of control. Mom's been helping cover it. But now, the loan sharks are threatening me. Mom said you could liquidate your retirement account. It's the only way. I stared at him, speechless. The next day, Emma cornered me at the office. Mom says you're being difficult about the papers. We need access to your accounts. It's for James's protection too, she said with a self-righteous glare. Get out, I snapped. And don't come near my workplace again. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Jessica, my office rival, eavesdropping with a sly smile. That evening, I received a bank notification. James had tried to add Patricia as a joint account holder. Furious, I confronted him. How dare you share my private financial information? I demanded. They're just trying to help, James protested. Emma's business plan is solid this time. If you just... No, I'm not funding another failure, I said, my voice shaking. This stops now. The next day, Patricia was back, this time stationed near the accounting department, her voice deliberately loud. Such a shame about Susan. Always wondered how she could afford that new car, Patricia said, with an exaggerated air of concern. You know what they say about sudden wealth. Later, I overheard Jessica chatting with Emma in the cafeteria. Your sister-in-law handles some pretty big accounts, Jessica said, her tone conspiratorial. But those numbers, they never quite add up. My hands shook as I called Sarah. They're trying to destroy everything I've built, I said, my voice barely steady. Document everything, she advised. Every visit, every conversation. And Susan, check your personal accounts. Now. I did. My stomach dropped. Someone had tried accessing my retirement account 3 times that week. Monday morning, an email from HR hit my inbox. Subject: concerning reports. Mrs. Jack, we've received anonymous complaints about aggressive behavior, mishandling of client funds, and emotional instability. Please arrange a meeting to discuss. I knew exactly where this was coming from. Minutes later, my phone buzzed with a bank alert. Joint account transfer, $45,000 to external account. Heart pounding, I called the bank. Yes, Mrs. Jack, the representative said. Your husband made the transfer this morning. As a joint account holder, he has full access. I rushed to the bathroom, fighting back tears. That's when I overheard Patricia's voice echoing down the hallway, speaking to my biggest client. I hate to say this about family, she said in a hushed tone that carried, But we're all worried about Susan's episodes. The mood swings, the erratic spending. James is at his wits' end. Before I could confront her, chaos erupted in the conference room. Emma burst into my presentation, tears streaming down her face. "How could you? After everything we've done for you," she wailed. "You promised to help with my business. I took out loans based on your word. Now I'm going to lose everything." My clients shifted uncomfortably as security escorted her out. Across the room, I saw Jessica recording the entire scene on her phone. Within hours, the video was circulating through office email chains. That night, I did something I'd never done before. I went through James's laptop. Buried in his emails, I found a thread that shattered my illusions. "Patricia, Susan's up for that promotion. Once it's official, we can start phase 1. Emma, you know what to do with Jessica." "James, don't worry, baby sister. We did this with Rachel too. She never saw it coming." Rachel, James' ex-fiancée. I'd always wondered why she ended things so abruptly. It took me 3 hours of social media digging to find her. When she answered my call, her voice was cautious. "Susan, James's wife," she said hesitantly. "I've been expecting this call for years." We met at a cafe 2 towns over. Rachel's hands trembled as she slid an old journal across the table. "They did the same thing to me," she said. "First, it was small loans. Then James's gambling debt surfaced. Patricia started showing up at my workplace, checking in. When I refused to give them access to my trust fund, they destroyed me. I lost my job, my reputation. I had to move states. But I kept everything: emails, recordings, bank statements. I've been waiting for their next victim to find me." My phone buzzed with another email from HR. Multiple complaints received regarding unprofessional conduct. "It's happening exactly like before," Rachel said grimly. "But this time, they picked the wrong target." I showed her my own evidence, screenshots of James sharing my financial information, recordings of Patricia's slanderous conversations near my office, bank transfer records, and Emma's staged meltdowns. There were others, Rachel revealed. 3 more before me. James's high school girlfriend, his college fiancée, even his first wife. They target successful women, drain them dry, then move on. Patricia orchestrates everything. That night, an anonymous email landed in my inbox. Inside were statements, photos, and recordings from 2 other women. Their stories mirrored mine. Minutes later, my phone lit up with a text from James. "Baby, I know you're upset, but Mom's right. Family has to stick together. Just sign the account transfer papers and all this ugliness can stop." I stared at my evidence folder, now bulging with years of their schemes. They thought I was just another victim. They had no idea I was about to become their worst nightmare. The next morning, I texted James. "Coming home now. You're right, we need to talk." Let them think they'd won. Let them think I was breaking. While they were playing checkers, I was setting up a chessboard. The board meeting was scheduled for 9 a.m. I watched Patricia and Emma stroll into the lobby, their faces smug. They had no idea they were walking into my trap. "Before we begin," I said, placing 5 thick folders on the conference table, "I have evidence of systematic harassment and attempted financial fraud." The board members leaned forward as I played recordings, displayed emails, and presented bank statements. Then came the testimonies. Rachel and the other women had agreed to record video statements. One by one, they shared their stories, accounts of being systematically targeted, harassed at their workplaces, and financially drained by the Miller family. Their voices, steady and resolute, painted a damning picture of years of manipulation. As the videos played, a commotion broke out in the lobby. Patricia and Emma, oblivious to what was unfolding upstairs, were approached by security. Their phones buzzed incessantly as the fallout began. An anonymous tip had triggered formal investigations into Emma's string of fraudulent businesses. Her investors were already pulling out, furious over the revelations. "Mrs. Miller, Miss Miller," the security guard said firmly. "Please step away from the building. This is outrageous." Patricia shrieked, clutching her pearls. "I'm here to report my unstable daughter-in-law." My phone buzzed. It was a text from Rachel. "It's done. Police just picked up James at the casino. Loan sharks turned over evidence of his debts and threats." The board's decision was swift and unanimous. "Mrs. Jack," the chairperson said, his voice tinged with regret, We owe you an apology. Your promotion to regional director is effective immediately. Later that afternoon, Emma's remaining investors stormed her office, armed with proof of her 5 previous scams. Someone had sent them court records showing she'd been taking deposits for non-existent luxury products for years. Meanwhile, Patricia's carefully curated social circle was imploding. Her country club friends began receiving emails detailing her decades-long involvement in financial fraud schemes, long predating James's gambling issues. Patricia's perfect plan wasn't just unraveling. It was collapsing in spectacular fashion. 6 months later, I sat in my corner office reviewing quarterly reports. Sarah knocked on the door and handed me a newspaper. "You'll want to see this," she said with a smirk. The headline read, "Local family faces bankruptcy following fraud investigations." The article detailed how James had lost everything to the loan sharks. Emma was facing legal action over her scams, and Patricia and George's assets were frozen while authorities investigated decades of financial misconduct. "Miss Jack," my assistant interrupted, stepping into the office. "There's a disturbance downstairs." On the security feed, I saw them, Patricia and Emma, attempting to force their way into the building. Their designer clothes were noticeably worn, their once luxury car now replaced by a battered old sedan. Security promptly escorted them out as they screamed about family loyalty. My phone buzzed with one final text from James. "Please, Susan, we're about to lose everything." I stared at the message for a moment before deleting it. Sometimes the best revenge is thriving while toxic people drown in the consequences of their own actions. Success truly is the best revenge. Now I have a question for you. What would you have done in my position? Would you have forgiven James and his family if they showed remorse to maintain peace, or stood your ground and exposed them despite their being family? At what point does someone lose the right to claim family ties? When is enough truly enough? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Tristan, and this is the story of how I survived one of the most manipulative people I've ever met. 2 years ago, my life changed forever when I married into the Anderson family. At the time, I thought I was stepping into a fairy tale. I'm a financial analyst at Morgan Stanley, and that's where it all started, at a little coffee shop near Wall Street. Mark spilled his drink all over my brand new blazer, and what began as an embarrassing encounter turned into weekly lunches. Before I knew it, we were walking down the aisle. "Welcome to the family, darling." Those were the first words Patricia Anderson said to me at our engagement party. Dressed in a pristine Channel suit with pearls elegantly draped around her neck, she looked every inch the socialite she was. Mark has finally found someone worthy of the Anderson name. At the time, I felt lucky. The Andersons seemed like the perfect family. Patricia, Mark's mother, hosted extravagant dinner parties in their Greenwich mansion. His brother David was always cracking jokes, and Emma, his sister-in-law, quickly became my closest confidant. Our Sunday dinners at the mansion became a cherished tradition. One day, Emma and I were chatting over lunch when she casually mentioned Patricia's role in managing the family's finances. "Mom oversees everything. Investments, accounts, you name it," Emma said. "She calls it protecting the family's interests." I shrugged it off. I'm sure she just wants everyone to succeed. Emma's expression darkened. "Just be careful, Anna. There's more to it than you think." I dismissed her words, focusing instead on my thriving career and the beautiful brownstone Mark and I had just purchased in Brooklyn. Everything felt perfect. But then, during Sunday dinners, I began noticing things. "David, honey, did you make that investment I suggested?" Patricia would ask. "Yes, Mom. Transferred the funds yesterday." "That's my good boy." Or, "Emma, what about those tech stocks we discussed?" Emma's face would tighten. "We decided to hold off." "Nonsense. I'll come by tomorrow and sort it out. Family must stick together." When I mentioned these dynamics to Mark, he defended his mother. "Mom's been managing family money for decades," he said. "She turned Dad's inheritance into a fortune. We're lucky to have her guidance." I nodded but couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. One afternoon, during coffee with Emma, I brought it up. "You know what's funny? For all the talk about investments, I've never actually seen a single report or portfolio statement." Emma stirred her coffee slowly. "There's something you should know." Before she could say more, her phone buzzed. Patricia was summoning her to the mansion. Emma left abruptly. but the worry in her eyes lingered with me. A few months later, everything changed. Mark lost his job after a sudden merger at his firm. With our brownstone under renovation and bills piling up, Patricia swooped in. "You can't possibly survive on savings alone, darling," she said. "The mansion has plenty of room." "It's temporary, Mom," Mark assured her. "I've already got interviews lined up." "Nonsense. Pack your bags. I won't take no for an answer." Living at the mansion seemed fine at first until Patricia cornered me in the kitchen one morning. "Anna, dear, we need to discuss finances. The family pools resources. It's how we protect each other. I appreciate the offer, but I manage our finances just fine." Her smile vanished. "Don't be difficult. I just need your banking passwords to set everything up." "Sorry, but that's not happening. Our accounts are separate." Her eyes turned cold. "I see. Working in finance has made you distrustful. How disappointing." Later that week, while gardening, I overheard her during her bridge club. "Poor Mark," Patricia's voice drifted through the open window. "He married her for love, but now I wonder. Did you know she refuses to contribute to family investments? Keeping her money separate, how suspicious." The whispers spread. At charity galas, conversations hushed when I approached. Even Mark began acting differently. "Babe," he said one night, "maybe Mom has a point. We're living in her house now." "Mark, I just got promoted to senior analyst. We'll be fine." "You didn't tell me about the promotion?" "See, this is exactly what Mom means about you being secretive with money." The tension boiled over at Sunday dinner. Patricia, glowing with smug satisfaction, clinked her wine glass to gather everyone's attention. "Anna dear, I heard about your lovely bonus." Patricia began with her trademark condescension. "Now's the perfect time to discuss integrating you into the family portfolio." I straightened in my chair, my voice firm. "Patricia, my finances aren't up for discussion." Her expression darkened. "Ungrateful girl. Living under my roof, enjoying Anderson wealth, while hoarding your own money. What are you hiding?" "I'm hiding nothing," I shot back, holding my ground. "I'm protecting my financial independence." "Independence," she spat, her voice dripping with disdain. "There's no such thing in this family. Mark, are you going to let her disrespect me like this?" Mark stared down at his plate, silent. "Mark?" I prompted, my voice trembling. "Anna," he said quietly, "please, just do what Mom asks." "No," I said, my voice stronger now. "This is financial abuse, and I won't be part of it." Patricia rose from her seat, her face flushed with fury. "How dare you accuse me of abuse? Get out of my house. Now." I turned to Mark, hoping for support. His shoulders slumped as he mumbled, maybe you should go, Anna. Just until you're ready to be reasonable." Tears burned my eyes as I packed a bag, Patricia's venomous voice echoing through the halls. She never understood our family values, always so selfish, that one. Emma caught me at the door. "Anna, wait." "Not now." "Emma," I said, my voice breaking. "I can't." As I drove away, my phone buzzed with texts from Mark. "Mom's right. You're tearing this family apart." I checked into a hotel, my hands shaking as I called my best friend, Claire. "Can I crash at your place for a while?" I asked. "Of course, honey. What happened?" "I just found out what happens when you say no to Patricia Anderson." Little did Patricia know, her attempt to control me would mark the beginning of her downfall. "There's something you need to see," Emma said, her voice unsteady as we met in a quiet cafe far from Greenwich. She slid a folder across the table. Inside were bank statements detailing systematic transfers from Emma's and David's accounts to Patricia's private holdings. She took everything, Anna, our savings, investments, David's inheritance from his aunt. It's all gone. And the family portfolio she keeps talking about, it doesn't exist. She's been using our money to maintain her lifestyle. The mansion, mortgaged to the hilt. Those designer clothes, our money. Even her charities are a front." My phone buzzed with another blow, divorce papers from Mark. The demands were ludicrous. Half my assets, including future earnings. "She's trying to force your hand," Emma said. "She's done this before. You need to talk to Jessica." Jessica, Mark's father's first wife, met me in a modest apartment, worlds away from the Anderson mansion's opulence. "Let me guess," she said bitterly. "She demanded access to your accounts too." "I refused, just like you." Next thing I knew, Richard, her first son, was serving me divorce papers. She took everything in the settlement. Jessica revealed a disturbing pattern. Patricia had married into money 3 times. Each time she drained the family's finances dry. Her first husband died under suspicious circumstances after uncovering her schemes. Her second husband divorced her when she bankrupted him. Mark's father had been her last victim. Why didn't anyone stop her? I asked, horrified. Fear, shame, family loyalty. Patricia is a master manipulator, but look at these. Jessica pulled out documents showing years of money transfers, shell companies, and fraudulent loans. My phone buzzed again. A text from Mark. Mom says if you agree to transfer your assets to the family account, we can work things out. I laughed bitterly. Not this time, Patricia. That night, Emma called, her voice frantic. Anna, she's pressuring David to cut me off. Says I've been conspiring against the family by helping you. We need to stop her. Emma, how much evidence do you have? Everything. I've been documenting her schemes for years. I was too scared to act alone. Send it all to me, I said. I'll need Jessica's help too. For days, I worked through the files. My financial expertise helped uncover the full scope of Patricia's fraud. She hadn't just stolen from her family. She was running a sophisticated Ponzi scheme through her charity foundation, using new family members' money to pay off older debts. Another text from Mark. Mom says you're spreading lies. How could you? Ask her about the foundation's missing millions, Mark. Ask her where your father's real estate fortune went. Then came the call. Is this Anna Tristan? The voice was unfamiliar. Yes. Who's this? My name's Catherine Weber. Patricia's trying to pull me into her family investment scheme. I heard you might have information. I smiled grimly. Patricia's web of lies was unraveling, and she didn't even know it. Meet me tomorrow, I said. Bring any documentation you have. It's time everyone learned the truth about Patricia Anderson. Anna, have you seen the news? Emma's excited voice crackled through the phone as I navigated the morning traffic. What's going on? I asked, adjusting the volume. Patricia's charity foundation is under investigation. Anonymous emails expose suspicious transactions in her accounts. The Greenwich gossip mill is in overdrive. I smirked, imagining the chaos unfolding in Patricia's world. It wasn't long before the headlines hit every corner of her carefully curated social circle. Did you hear about the Anderson Foundation scandal? All those charity galas, just a front. My sister almost invested with her last week. Can you believe it? The dominoes fell quickly. Private loans Patricia had taken out using forged documents all came due at once. Creditors circled like sharks, demanding payment. Anna, you need to see this. Jessica's email pinged my phone with attached images of loan documents. Mark's signature was plastered across them, obviously forged. She's getting sloppy, I muttered, shaking my head. At midnight, Mark's panicked call came through. Anna, Mom tried to access my accounts tonight. She had documents with my signature, but I never signed anything. What's happening? I took a deep breath, steadying my voice. Finally asking the right questions, Mark, check your email. I sent you everything you need to know. The FBI didn't need my tips. They had been investigating Patricia's schemes for months. When they called me in as a witness, they thanked me for my detailed financial analysis. You helped us connect several key dots, Miss Tristan. Anna, please. Mark stood outside my apartment one rainy evening, his hair plastered to his face, desperation etched into his features. I was blind. I'm so sorry. Can we try again? Like you tried to help your mother take everything from me? I asked, my voice cold and steady. Go home, Mark. Emma and Jessica became my strongest allies. Together, we launched a support group for financial abuse survivors, hearing heartbreaking stories from people who had experienced manipulation and betrayal. Helping others heal helped us heal too. The mansion's being auctioned off, Emma mentioned during one of our weekly lunches. David finally sees the truth. We're starting over, far away from Patricia's shadow. When Patricia's sentencing made headlines minus 15 years for investment fraud, money laundering, and forgery, not a single family member attended her hearing. My career soared. My promotion to managing director came with a corner office overlooking Manhattan. On my desk sat a framed photo of Emma, Jessica, and me at our survivor group's first retreat. Looking out at the skyline, I smiled. Patricia thought she could break me by stripping away her family's support. Instead, she taught me something invaluable: my own strength. The Anderson fortune was gone, but I had built something better: true independence and real relationships rooted in honesty, not control. That evening, my phone buzzed. Emma and Jessica were waiting downstairs for our celebration dinner. My new book about surviving financial abuse had just hit the bestseller list. As I grabbed my coat, I thought back to Mark's rain-soaked apology. Sometimes the best revenge isn't watching toxic people fall. It's rising higher than they ever imagined you could. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? When Mark came begging for forgiveness, would you have given him a second chance, or is protecting your peace more important than any relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more survival stories like mine, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications.